What's up, guys? Farooqi Bros here, back with another Built Different stream. And as we get towards the end of the year and heading into December, we wanted to rank all the superhero movies, comic book movies, the live action ones at least, that came out in 2022. Now that Black Panther Wakanda Forever came out last week, doing incredible numbers. So I want to get everyone's thoughts. It's been an interesting year for comic book movies, in my opinion. Some highs, some lows, some very lows. So I think it'll be fun to see what everyone thinks about, from the four of us, our panel, what we think about these movies and how it compares generally to the years prior. So just to remind everyone of all the movies that came out this year in release order, The Batman was the first movie this year, followed by Morbius, then Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Adam, and Wakanda Forever. So it's like 3 MCU movies, 2 DC movies, and 1 Sony Marvel movie. So let's get right into it. Jan, I'm gonna start with you. I mean, do you want me to do it's better? Would you prefer I keep the list on, or do you just know where you're gonna go with it?
Either way is fine. You keep the list on for people to see.
I'll keep up for a minute, and then I'll put it back on. So, Jan, what is your ranking of the superhero movies of 2022?
So for me, first is obvious is The Batman. I think that was clear cut the best film. Just the way it was made, the way it was shot, the writing, the score on every level, the acting on every level. I felt like this was amazingly and perfectly done, and really have almost zero gripes against anything they did in the movie. So I think for me, this is a clear cut number one. This was the best superhero movie of the year and one of the best of all time, in my opinion. Second for me would be Wakanda Forever, which was also an amazing film, one of the MCU's top films, in my opinion, at least in the top 5 or 6. And they did a great job handling, obviously, addressing the passing of Chadwick and everything else. And they did it in the most respectful way they could have without being too sappy or doing something untasteful like a CGI version of him or whatnot. So I'm glad they avoided all that. And so that would be second place for me. Third would be Doctor Strange, which looking back has lost some of the luster it had when it first came out. Now I'm starting to notice more of like, when I think back on it, I think more of like the mistakes and things it could have done a little better. But still, overall, it was a unique movie. It had its own unique style compared to the usual MCU movies that we see. And you really felt Sam Raimi's taste in that, some of the horror elements as well. So that would be third for me. Fourth would be Black Adam, which was a pretty good. It wasn't pretty good, but it was a good baseline DC movie. I think it wasn't a horrible movie at all. I think that it did some good things right in terms of the action and whatnot. The writing was obviously very paper thin, but it wasn't so horrible where I was falling asleep during the movie. At least it kept me engaged through the action. So it was good enough where, okay, it's in the middle of the pack for this year. And then for the last two, it's hard to say because they're both some of the worst movies that ever came out in history, probably. But Morbius, I only saw scenes, and just basing on the post-credit scene, it really is pretty garbage. But they're both like 1 out of 5 movies. They're both 1 out of 5 movies, so I guess they'd both be tied for last as just some of the biggest garbage ever. But I'd probably put Thor in. If I had to rank it, I'll put Thor as last and Morbius 5th, only because coming off of Ragnarok, which was okay, which wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed Ragnarok. This was just something so horrendously bad. And the way they just ruined Thor's character, for me, it would just make it the worst movie of this year and worse than Morbius.
So, I mean, I feel like your list is not going to be that different from anybody's, to be honest. Like, the more I look at it, and a lot of your points, I actually thought you always hated Ragnarok, so I'm surprised that because I thought it was more my point that I was okay with Ragnarok and you hated it. But my ranking, I'll go next. We'll make it easy and sweet and simple. But my list is almost exactly like Zion's, but I'll give a quick reasoning why. The Batman is the best just from a cinematic standpoint. I think you can make a debate between Batman and Black Panther, but I just think Batman is one cut above from an acting perspective, and then from directing perspective, you can make a case that Ryan Coogler and Matt Reeves are nearly identical as directors from a talent standpoint. But I'll give Matt Reeves a nod just for the aesthetic of the Batman, which just felt really unique. And I think the opening scene of the Batman is still like arguably the best comic book scene this year. So I put Batman number one. Obviously, Wakanda Forever is number two. I think these are the only two movies that even touch the idea of cinema. Everything else is very much your homogenized superhero movie. Even these two movies have their moments where it becomes homogenized superhero movies, but those are the two that at least edge towards like, okay, we're doing something cinematic and not just, flavor of the week. But unfortunately, everything after Wakanda Forever is flavor of the week, even Multiverse of Madness, which I'm a huge fan of Sam Raimi, but we all know his vision got butchered. This is not really his vision for that movie. We don't know what the true cut is. He wanted to go rated R. He didn't want any kind of redemption for Scarlet Witch, for Wanda, which he kind of didn't have, but I guess they kind of made it sympathetic, where he wanted to go a route where there was no sympathy. But the version we got was fine. The post-credit scenes for Doctor Strange are horrendous, which makes the movie really bad in my opinion. But overall, okay, does the job. Third place. Fourth place, Black Adam. I was thinking putting Black Adam ahead of Doctor Strange just to make you guys laugh and be like, oh, because Superman's in it, it has to be number three. But let's be honest, if you remove the 1 second scene of Superman, this movie does not hold up. So unfortunately, it sits at number 4 for me. Number 5 is Morbius. They kept it serious. Like, it's a serious movie. There's not many jokes. It's just the writing is paper thin. It's just, Jared Leto, honestly, like, he's good in some roles. I think this role maybe wasn't the best role for him, in my opinion. And then lastly, I've never been shy in my interviews or video reviews of how much I dislike Thor: Love and Thunder, but this movie is absolutely atrocious, and it just feels like an SNL skit that's gone too long, and it's just not for me, not my flavor, not my cup of tea. And apparently even Chris Hemsworth said in an interview last week that he doesn't want to do any more jokey Thor movies. He wants to go serious. So if they're gonna do one more last Thor movie, I hope they go away from Taika, go for something more darker, and see what they can do. But that's my 6 movies ranked. Samir, I'm going to you next. How would you rank the 6 superhero movies this year?
All right. First, I got the Batman, of course, which is the best movie by far. I think. I don't even think I think Wakanda Forever is close to it, but it is second. I didn't like some parts of Wakanda Forever. Obviously, we talked about that on our stream for it, but it's still better than all the movies that come after it. Then I got Doctor Strange, where the story was kind of lacking, regardless of Sam Raimi's directing style, which is like the only thing that made it good. Then I got Thor, because Black Adam is the worst. I hate Black Adam. Even though Thor is also the worst, it's like the gap between Doctor Strange and the rest of the movies is just so wide. Even though Doctor Strange isn't even all that good, if we're being honest. But they're all bottom tier. They're all F tier movies. The rest of these. But I'll put Thor above Black Adam because Black Adam is the worst. I hate Black Adam. And then Morbius is even worse than that. And Morbius is the last, yeah.
Why do you think Black Adam is worse than Thor? Because I feel like Thor is the worst thing ever made.
Thor is the worst, but that kid in Black Adam is the worst.
Okay, but that's a child actor. I'm talking about Thor: Love and Thunder. The writing is just like unforgivable. I mean, just goats screaming for 2 hours.
What writing in Black Adam?
Thor cried more for Korg's fake death than actual Jane's true death. Like there's some problems with that movie.
The love triangle between the hammer and the axe.
Yeah, he was in love with his hammer, and in love. The hammer's jealous of him for some reason, liking Jane. This is the movie you're defending?
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be ironically a joke, right? But like, it's like Black Adam's trying to be serious. Black Adam's taking it so seriously.
At least Superman is in Black Adam.
That's what I hate the most. Forget Superman. He's in it for like a second. And Henry Cavill's not even that good in that scene either.
At least the costume is nice.
All right, we're going to make the call. Just go crazy by saying the costume is next.
Hey, the costume is, first of all, a lot of the people are like, oh my God, this is the worst costume ever. It's literally the Man of Steel costume. They just saturated it. It's the same costume. They didn't change anything. But either way, Umar, last but not least, I want you to give your ranking of the comic book movies this year.
Right.
Where do you stand? Me and Zan had the same list. Samir went a little differently, so I want to see where you go.
So I think that the Batman's obviously the best movie that was made this year, like from a very like objective standpoint, whatever. But I like Wakanda Forever more. Like I enjoyed it more. And
so you're officially putting Wakanda Forever number 1.
Yeah, for me, I'll put Black Panther first, and then I'll put the Batman. I think I think just like the themes that they had in both movies, were really good. I think in the Batman, it's just very well made. It's a better movie, obviously. But I think with the challenges that they faced on Black Panther, I would say just from a mere standpoint of like losing the main guy, and having to write him out, and then also making a very very solid like script or
The
whatever.
challenge is huge.
Yeah, so from that standpoint, I think I'll put Black Panther number one. And I actually did enjoy it more. I think the Batman, where I feel like it's slightly weak is because of the way it's made. So it's a mystery, right? But if you know what happens, the rewatch isn't as great, even though the performances are really good. So it lags on rewatch. I've already watched Black Panther twice, enjoyed it. The same like the first viewing. So I think on rewatch it's slightly better. So I would go Black Panther, then the Batman. Then there's a huge dip. Then we'll put Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, I think I don't know. I mean, Scarlet Witch. I'm forgetting the name of the actress, Elizabeth Olsen, right?
Yeah.
I think she's a really good actress, so she carried that movie as well. So I'll put that number 2, or number 3 rather.
Yeah, but you can make a case like, in terms of best villains, like you can make cases between her and Riddler, but like all the other villains weren't good this year. Like,
well, does Namor count as a villain? Yeah.
oh, yeah. See, if Namor's the villain, he's the best. But I don't know if he's got the anti-hero.
Namor,
He's
He's the antagonist. He's not the villain, but he's the
I mean,
antagonist.
there are no villains in the movie then, so he's the antagonist. I guess he is the villain of the movie.
He is the villain, bro.
Then yeah, I like him
He killed
more
the
than
queen. Of
Riddler.
course, the villain.
Then he was the best one. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, hot take: Riddler's overrated. But anyways,
Okay.
and
This
then I
guy
would
doesn't
put,
like Riddler, but he loves BVS Lex Luthor.
I love BVS what?
Lex Luthor.
BVS Lex.
Oh, I thought you said BVS Riddler, which would have worked because he was Jesse Eisenberg would have been a good Riddler. Anyways, then I put Black Adam, then I put Morbius, then I put Thor. Hate
So you
Thor.
put Thor last. Thank God.
Thor's
because
the
a few
worst.
weeks ago, you were like flirting with the idea that Black Adam was worse, falling into Samir's tricks. And I was like, dude, it can't be worse.
Black Adam is so bad, so garbage.
No,
It is
Thor
garbage,
worse.
but it's not worse than Thor. Nothing's worse than Thor.
The thing is that
They're both
the
worse.
thing is that Black Adam still tried to do something like the concept that they were trying to do. Like it just executed.
Literally, exactly.
Could've been
Execution was
amazing.
bad, but
Could've
there was
been amazing.
concept.
Nah, everything was bad. Everything was bad.
No,
Even
Umar makes the
concept
best point. At least they had something they wanted to say. They wanted to say something. They said it weird, poorly, but they had something to say. Like
What were they saying?
the same
Tell-
thing. Black
tell
Adam
the
was
man
saying
Black.
about like
They were saying we're so garbage. We're still
Both
garbage.
Black-
That's what they were saying.
Black Adam and
They're
Black
saying
Panther
The
were
Rock
saying
didn't
the same
say
thing.
DC universe.
Black Adam and Black Panther saying the same thing about like why don't the oppressed get their own hero and that
Oh,
hero
so
kills
bad.
people, but guess what?
They did it so bad.
They should be allowed to
care.
kill because like those people never had a hero. So the Atlantis, Talokans, however the thing are.
Talokans.
The execution was so bad. You just say that,
But also, what was the
Even
theme
Thor
of
had
Thor: Love
something
and
to
Thunder?
say.
What's the
Something-
theme? What's
Thor
the
had
theme?
nothing to say.
What
Even
was
James
Thor
Cole,
Thor had
like
some stupid
diagnosis,
thing to say,
they made a
bro.
joke of it the whole movie except
They
for
made
one
a joke of a cancer diagnosis. That's not right, yo. Like that's
What are
not
you
right.
talking about?
Samir, just tell us.
I'm talking about the
Just
villains.
tell us what Thor had to say, bro. Tell us what the main message of Thor was.
What's the message
Thor
of
had some
Thor?
Stupid thing to say, bro. I'm not gonna say it.
Don't say it.
Thor's
Either way,
a
we're
good
common.
villain, right?
Sorry, it's been a very weak year. Only Batman and Black Panther are worth mentioning, and Batman was the best this year. It feels like a pretty weak year, but then when I look back, it's not like 2021 was like that much better. Like 2021, what do we have? We had Zack Snyder Justice League, which was the best. Shang-Chi, which was second. The Suicide Squad, third. Like, what else even came out?
All
Spider-Man.
three of those movies
Oh,
are better
yeah.
than
Spider-Man
No Way
is-
Home last year.
Yeah,
That's true.
two huge heavy hitters. That's the only.
Yeah,
one.
that's right. No Way Home and the Snyder Cut make 2021 pretty good. Yeah.
We got talk. I'm talking about Snyder because this guy's on with you.
Yes,
It was good. No, you can't even cap.
No,
Yeah,
that's
you
bad.
don't
Hey,
cap.
You had a
That's
bad
whack.
you had a bad first viewing experience, and you know that's the reason.
No, that's
Yeah,
whack.
it was a good movie.
He didn't have a bad first viewing experience. He's an idiot.
That was a
He is.
terrible
Also-
experience. This guy's the
Also,
worst.
the scene of the
I wanna
kid
be
coming in the skateboard isn't as bad as Thor letting all the kids have like the hammer and very
No,
corny
the
scene in the fighting.
skateboard is so much worse.
No, they're equally as bad.
They were
They're
trying to
equally
be
as bad.
serious with it, bro. Hate
They're
this,
equally
bro.
as bad. You know,
I'll
it's
tell
true.
you
Bro,
that
he
there's
got
a
on the
scene in the
skateboard.
last. There's a scene in the last
Also,
episode of
remember
Andor.
the audio in all those scenes?
Yeah, it's so good.
It was
The
the worst thing
scene, the last episode of Andor is seen very similar to to Black Adam, but it did so much better that I was like, yo, the same oppressed kid. I don't know if you watched the last same oppressed kid leading the charge, but they did it like so much better. All right, but either way, yeah. So I think, yeah, it's been like I think it's been an average year for superhero movies.
The quality is so crazy. The difference.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
how is the streaming show even better than the films they're making out? They're putting out.
Yeah, Fatma's saying Black Adam, Thor Ragnarok. All of us agree with this except for Samir. So like,
she said Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, Ragnarok. Oh, then now.
Yeah,
no, that's going too far. That's going too far.
No, I was saying Andor is better. I'm saying Andor is much better. I was saying Andor is like this high up in the air, but the theme between Andor and Black Adam is the exact same from an oppression angle. It's just one did it good and one did it garbage, aka Black Adam. I feel bad for The Rock, though. I mean, he put 15 years in this movie. Like, he does care. Like, I think he legitimately cares.
I just think Black Adam, when you're sitting in the theater and they start showing like hell and the devil, you're like, bro, what's going on? Like,
yeah, I think
the movie doesn't make sense. Like that third act doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it actually doesn't. And I'm sure in like the DC, that's how it is. But
it's reincarnation of the old guy, you know.
And for the general person sitting there, the movie doesn't like. It doesn't click. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
In my opinion, again, you don't need to have bigger jaws. Like, we don't need the end villain to unite Black Adam and the JSA. The movie would be great if it was just Black Adam versus the JSA, and then the moral idea of who is right, who is wrong. But that's exactly what Black Panther did. Black Panther didn't have a third villain show up that, oh, now Shuri and Namor must work together. Like, no, there was no third villain. It's just you guys have to resolve your differences, and that's the end of the movie. Even BVS fell into that trope where Batman and Superman are fighting, but then Doomsday came, so we have to concentrate on the big villain. They do that's just a normal superhero trope where two heroes fight, and then a big villain shows up, and everyone's fight the big villain. So Black Adam just did the cliche. Like, they did the cliche of, oh, we're both kind of good guys and we're fighting, but no, he's a very bad guy. We must now work together. So that's like a normal like cliche. So I think that most superhero fans will like recognize that, which is why I called this movie when we first watched it. I said it's every single cliche put into one movie because like every predictable thing.
This is worse than BVS because at least Doomsday's a recognizable villain.
Is a masterpiece. What are you saying?
No, what are you talking about?
5 out of 5.
BVS is 5 out of 5. Don't even joke.
That's not the point.
Samir loved the Martha scene Black Panther. He had a whole tear falling off his face, and he did as well in BVS. I was there.
This is bad. You're talking about. First of all, I remember your reaction, and it wasn't good.
Either way, so.
And then you changed stories on me.
Listen, let me just clear the air, okay? My reaction was I was confused
because
I was like, bro, what's happening? Because I've already told the story a million times. Because Ben Affleck,
that's your reaction. That one
scene. He acted so good and everything else.
Either way, so overall, I think it's okay for superhero movies. Not great, not bad. The Batman, I think, is a clear front runner alongside Black Panther, but the rest
Samir is the worst.
Mid to last. But before we jet off for this week, I would quick fun topic for you guys because it is the American Thanksgiving weekend, so I'm gonna make everyone build their low vibrational plates. So
did this guy just say jet off?
We're gonna jet off. All right, we're gonna jet off. So we have to do our low vibrational plates. Y'all put I have to show Fatima the picture. This is the release order. So this is just the order of release. Yeah. So it's not an actual ranking. It's just
Morbius the worst. Oh my God.
Yeah, Morbius was pretty bad. So we're all gonna build our low vibrational plates of Thanksgiving. So you guys have to pick. Let me just 1 second. Yeah, block this user. All right, now we're chilling. We gotta pick one from each row. You know, and you gotta build your entire meal.
This is kind of chill. Like you.
It's actually so easy because a lot of the choices are garbage.
All right, so then if it's garbage and down, you go first. And
okay,
easier. What's your
plate?
What's your
plate? I start with chicken. Then I choose mac and cheese. The third row, almost everything is garbage except salad. So I choose salad.
Bro,
and the last row, I choose sweet potato pie.
All right, Samir, I'm sending you in next.
All right, I'll go with chicken because I've had turkey like once and it was dry though. I'll go with mashed potatoes. I've never had stuffing. I don't even know what that is.
It's like
I'll go with mashed potatoes, and then I'll go with salad, and then apple pie. I guess the only one I've had.
So see, sounds like there's only one choice of each, but everyone picks something different so far.
Now, the last row is the only place where I can see discussion.
All right,
let's see what Shaw says.
One choice. I'm also gonna go chicken as my meat, and then I will choose chicken with mac and cheese on the side, and then I like my regular salad. Even though the green bean casserole is not the worst thing in the world, but we can go for the salad.
Oh, it's the worst.
And then stuffed mushrooms. Some people, if you're into mushrooms, stuffed mushrooms are really good. And then the last one, I'll go with sweet potato pie. Also, actually, yeah, the worst.
So
is
you had the exact same list as me. You're saying, oh, everybody's kind of different. You made my point.
I find for your sake, I'm gonna switch to sweet potato pie and go for pumpkin pie. That's right.
No, you wouldn't, because you know it's
pie.
worse.
Pumpkin pie. All right, now Umar, what's your plate?
I've had good turkey, so I'll go turkey A, mashed potatoes 2, stuffed mushrooms 3, and apple pie 4.
This guy is so bougie. All right,
This
so
guy he's just a contrarian. He wouldn't eat any of these things.
the bread rolls, bro.
Bro, the only thing I'm eating on Thanksgiving is Samir Swiss rolls in his closet, bro. That's it.
What? Bro, what's that?
Bro, let's be honest. Canadian Thanksgiving was a month ago, and I don't know what you guys did for it. So, or Boxing Day.
It's not really a big thing here, bro. No one cares.
All right, so let's go to the comments.
Everyone just thanks the government, bro. That's it.
Tari says this is American propaganda, which it probably is.
So
All right, then Fatma jumps in. The meat is chicken, mac and cheese, stuffed mushrooms,
Finally,
and
someone.
apple pie.
Absolutely.
Y'all never had stuffed mushrooms?
Very correct.
Yeah. Okay. So chicken, mac and cheese, stuffed mushrooms, and apple pie is hers. Yeah. Stuffed mushrooms. I mean, it depends what it's stuffed with. Like,
It doesn't matter what it's stuffed with, because the mushroom is the problem.
no, if it's you can. Samir, have you had stuffed mushrooms before?
No. What am I, bougie, bro? I'm not you.
All right. So then, we got another comment. We got C for number 1, so chicken, mac and cheese. E is salad, and then 6 is pecan pie. So Safi has something very similar to me and Zion, except pecan pie, which in my opinion is the worst pie of the group. Where is biryani? I mean, this is a very good point, Ibrahim. In terms of where's biryani, it's on Umar's plate. I mean, Umar, you would switch biryani with chicken, right?
No.
All right. So then, I mean, biryani would sit in the second row. I would say it's like what you put on the side.
I guess, yeah. Ask Samir. Samir knows more about that. This guy eats rice like nothing else.
All right, but so now Nabil is saying it's C, so chicken, mac and cheese, salad.
Y'all never had good turkey?
Turkey? I've had turkey only like maybe twice in my life. And
yeah, but it's if it's not made right, Samir's right. It's dry. But if it's made right, it's
but
like
in
moist
general,
on the
the
inside.
meat is just like I don't know.
And it's always dry. You have to have the gravy. That's the only
Yeah,
reason.
it's a very dry bird. You gotta put so much around it to make it edible. Like a lone turkey is like eating like a really, really like dry bread.
That's it. That's the end of the stream. That's the worst thing Shaw's ever said on stream.
Wait, we have one more. Right? So then we got one more. Let me bring the list up. Right, so E is so E. I'm guessing we got 4
Salad.
bread rolls. All right, turkey, bread rolls, salad, and yeah. So what? Those are all whatever. Yeah, those are all the good lists. What's funny? This guy can't take other opinions, yo. Either way,
Who you talking about?
Zion, bro. He doesn't look. All right. Either way, so what do you think? All right, that's it. We got our Thanksgiving plates out of the way. We're all bad. And I want to apologize. I actually have turkey when it's prepared good is good. Just I'm not a turkey person.
All right, it's time to end the stream.
Fair enough. You end it then.
Comment down below, like, subscribe.
Oh, what? Comment about what?
Rank your best films. Or you just do it. All right.
I'll do it. There you go. All right.
God,
So, what did you think about this year's comic book movies? Let us know in the comments below about your rankings. I want to see your rankings as we lose Jan and Samir forever.
Why
What's
do you
going
stop
on?
talking?
All right. From myself, from Zion, you should add Desi food on the menu. Next time we'll find a Desi Thanksgiving platter. From myself, from Zion, from Umar, and from Samir, we're the Farooqi Bros, and we'll see you next time.